Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell. Lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry. And of course, we've got Lee Cockerell here, the retired executive vice president of Walt Disney World. And I don't say this enough, the author of the book Creating Magic, one of my favorite business books ever. And sure, I'm a little biased, but I thought that before I met Lee 10 years ago. That's just a good book, Lee.
Thank you. And it's selling well and it's still being used as a textbook in colleges all over the country, which continually makes me happy when I hear that. So they're finding, and a lot of groups are finding that it makes an excellent textbook for lessons about because it's in the right order and it's basic, it's easy to understand, it's not complicated. I told somebody this morning, leadership and management is not complicated. It's just we try to make it too complicated. That book will really get you on the right track of these are the things that are important. Yeah, so good. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it is such a good book and it's amazing as old as it is now that it still keeps selling. And I think it's just a testament of how simple, and I do not mean Lee would agree simple. I don't mean that in a bad way. How simple the message is. It's just here's the message and then you go and do this and you can create magic too.
There you go. Thank you.
Lee, I have a listener question. Before we get to that, speaking of simple, if you want a simple vacation, call our friends at Magical Vacation Planner. You can reach them at 407 442 2694. I was just talking to someone today who is a huge Star Wars fan, and they are going to Hollywood Studios for the first time just to go to Galaxy's Edge. And I said, look, I don't even know what goes on anymore, how to make reservations at the cantina. You still need to get in the queue for this ride. I said, just call Magical Vacation Planner. They'll get your tickets. They'll they'll take care of it. They know all what's going on. They'll even book you tickets to the Bright Line so you can go down to Miami for the soccer game afterwards. So they're going to get in touch with Magical Vacation Planner for that. And Lee and I went to Galaxy's Edge together, and I know we've probably talked about that, Lee. But what did you think of Galaxy's Edge? I know you're not a Star Wars fan, but it's a pretty impressive area of the park.
It was far more than I expected. And it's pretty amazing the work they did on that and the imagination it took to put all that together. So yeah, it was great. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, listener question this week from Tall, and it's more of a topic, a suggested topic than a question. He would like to hear you talk more about the use of body language in hospitality. And he said, sometimes I think we forget to hire for the smiles and we're looking for the skill when you can train the skills, but hire for the smiles. So Lee, talk to us more about what
Yeah.
you what your expectation is for body language in hospitality because you work for three of the best in the business when it comes to the way the cast or the staff treats customers and guests.
Well, I think professional appearance and being dressed properly for the right role you're in has kind of gotten off track around the country because everybody's decided, well, this everybody can do whatever they want, just come in dressed. It doesn't matter how you look, and you can be have a big beard, and you can have a big tattoo, and you can have this and you can have that, and there's no system or there's no standard. And for me, I think that's wrong. And I'm probably a lot of people listening today. I think, well, he just doesn't understand what's going on in the world. But I tell you what, I do understand is that your odds of getting hired go down dramatically when you come in not looking like a professional. That literally, and we've heard this so many times. The impression of you is made in the first 20 seconds. When I see you, I already made up my mind, even before we have an interview. And is that fair? No, maybe not, but it's true. It's the way it is. And I would say you could say, well, there's a that won't happen, and it may not happen, but the odds are it will happen. And I like to play the odds game, and I want 100% odds that maybe I go in looking like very extremely professional, I might get a break and get hired anyway, even if the interview doesn't go exactly right. So this is a big issue, and I think people are really underestimating. You don't get hired, and I guarantee you, nobody will ever tell you it was because of that big tattoo, or it was because your haircut, or it was because of the clothes you had on, or your shoes weren't polished, or the way the unprofessional way you shook hands, and all those things. They'll just give you another reason why they didn't hire you. And that's what chance you take, because impressions are first. When you step into that, it's bam, your brain takes a photograph and just starts deciding what's going on here. And sometimes you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know how serious they are about professional. Some people go to the extreme and of what they expect you to look like. So I would say, what's that old say? Put your best foot forward. The day you go in for an interview or the day you come to work, you look as great every day and you look professional. And also you get spotted. People say, this guy could maybe, if your performance is good, you'll get picked out of all the people for promotional opportunities. You're that person with a good attitude, and you look good, and you look professional, and you're trustworthy, and you're on time, and it won't be long before you stand out. And I don't know if people understand that clearly enough, that the way leaders and managers make decisions, it's a few things. It's what I'm thinking. It's not, when you get promoted, even nobody goes to your file and starts going through it. They already know. It's in their mind. They already think, well, he's great at it. He looks good, he's professional, he sets a good example, he's reliable. I don't need to know anything else. And every single one of us already has an opinion of everybody we deal with. And do we tell them? No, that's not my job to tell you. And it might be illegal for me to tell you that. I don't know what's illegal now. But when I'm looking for somebody that serious enough. It's like going in the military. Can you imagine going in the military? Part of their professionalism is the discipline of professionalism. And can you imagine going to morning session without your hat or without not shaving, or your shirt unbuttoned and your shoes not shined? And these are all things that it adds a sense of discipline to an organization and the guests. In my opinion, Disney's gone off track on that. I think they're starting to let people just do about anything they want. Now, I don't know how. Maybe it's because you can't hire people, you can't find people. But at the end, Starbucks went over the edge. They used to be, they were great. And now you go in there, it's like you're going to a funeral. I mean, the place, people are not happy. They don't look right. And then I go to my coffee for the soul. Man, it is perfect. Every person looks good. They got their name tag on. They in uniform. They got their apron. I can't go to Starbucks anymore. Once you go to a place that does a great job, you can't go back. And that's your job, is to present yourself in such a way that people say, I got to hire this guy. He's different. This gal, she looks great. And because I don't know what kind of performer you're going to be, but I know what your judgment is. I know what your judgment is when I see the way you arrive. And so those are things you got to think about. They're really important. And I think body language, not slouching, leaning against the wall while you're, be the best you can be in presenting yourself. You're in a show. You're the actor. Your role is to be professional. And so always remember that what you say, how you speak to people, when you're meet people, how to shake hands with them, and how to escort them to out of the office with the meeting, and thanking people, and all these little things. And if you want to find out how, just watch television and look at some of the great movies of the people that are putting on a show. And some of them are great, and some of them are the Three Stooges. So you want to, which one do you want to be? And I'm sure the Three Stooges are all really smart, brilliant guys, but they send the message in that movie that it's just it makes you know that I'm not sure I'd hire them, but they're funny, and that's what you got to remember. People don't give you a break. Their brain already decides who you are, and they can't get it out of their brain. That's the problem. I can't get it out of my mind. If you come in with your shoes not shine, and I can't, I wonder what else doesn't he take care of? It's just that's how simple it is. Maybe it's unfair, but it's the way it is. So that's what I tell people. Pay attention to this. Look at the annual report of the company. What's the CEO? What's he look like in the picture on the cover? That's what you want to go and or look at the board of directors. What do they look like? Go to the place you're going to interview beforehand and see how the professionals look, and then you go in that way. Do your work, do your research, and then do it when you're on the job. Hey, when you get off, you can go with no shirt and you can run up and down the street. Its work is different than profession. That's why they call it professional. Even a doctor coming in is going to do heart surgery on you, and he looks like a bum. And you go like, oh, I don't know if I want to have this doctor or not. We decide right away. People send the message to us. This guy doesn't look very good, or doesn't smile, or doesn't shake hands, or doesn't introduce themselves right. We can leave there. And we see it with Priscilla. She goes to all these different doctors with her back issue. And some of the difference between the ones who got their act together to make you trust them and build confidence is totally different than the ones who are just half there and not communicating well and not paying attention and maybe not saying the right things to make you feel better, which they could. So it's a good lesson, and I think we ought to all pay attention to it because it can damage you dramatically.
In this spirit of body language and hospitality and demeanor, Lee, I know you felt this, whether you walk into the library, a hotel lobby, Walmart, drugstore, you know who you're going to ask a question to. If you have a question, a quick glance at who's working, and you already know who
Right.
you're going to ask a question to. Because in that split second, you've judged body language, dress, the way posture, all of that, eye contact, smile. So think about that. When you walk in and know, I'm asking Lee this question, not the other three. What is it about Lee or whoever, insert whoever, that makes you want to ask a question to them? So Lee, this will be the last piece on this. In that scenario, you walk into the library and immediately say, oh, I'm asking this person a question. What is it about that person that gives you that feeling without any words in a split second to know that's the one I want to talk to?
Yeah, I'm not sure you can always explain it. It's probably the way they look at you, the nod, the smile. They send a message to you that it's okay to come to them. And then others don't even look up. They look away. They hope you don't bother them. Uh, you can almost tell when I walk in a restaurant, I know right away. I was in one today and the manager was like an old grump. The waiter was fabulous. He was all over it and so it was okay. But and it turned out the manager was a nice guy and he was but he didn't know how to put on the hospitality show. And but he was fine. But the waiter was great. And so I don't know. When you walk, there's always people, you go to a session, you always run into, you kind of pick out a quick person that you end up connecting with. And a lot of it is them sending the message in different ways. Um, Looking, glancing, sending that eye message that, okay, hey, how you doing? You walk over there, connect. I don't know. It's an instinct that you're showing confidence. Those people are showing confidence, and I don't know exactly what it is or how they get it, but you got to work on it. And just like in the movies, the actor may be a total idiot, but looks like a genius. And that's what it is. It's put on the right show to your advantage, to your advantage. Uh, and first impressions, they're rough.
Well, I think this was a good conversation. So thank you for sending that topic in, Tal. And if you have a question you want to ask Lee, topic you'd want us to talk about, reach out to either one of us. I'm at jodymayberry.com, Lee's at leecockerell.com. And we've got two things for you as we wrap up. One, the book Creating Magic, and which can be found at cockerellstore.com. And two, if this topic intrigued you about body language and hospitality, check out our newest course, The Frontline Rules. This is what it's about. It is 50 lessons, maybe. I don't remember how many there are in there. Very
50,
short lessons.
2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes each. Yeah.
Yeah, it is great. This is what it focuses on is how to operate, how to perform your role on the front line. And organization could use it as training, or you yourself could get it and put on a better show than anyone else around you. I was reading in an upcoming volume of the Main Street Leader, Lee is writing about his career, and he said part of his success is no matter what role he had, he just tried to be better than everyone else. Well, if you want to be better than the others around you, the Frontline Rules is a great place to start.
Start with a better attitude and you're going along. And then if you're reliable, you're on the way to big time.
Big time. All right. Thank you so much, Lee. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Creating Disney Magic. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.